If your child was getting beaten by a mysterious man, and you defended your son by striking the man, as a result, he pulled up a pistol from his jacket, which was shocking to you because the idea of getting murdered did not cross your mind. The man then quickly shot you. Would you consider yourself brave for sacrificing your life to save your beloved son, or stupid for not knowing the likelihood of getting murdered and defending your son on the basis of him not carrying any weapons? Maybe you defended him because you thought that he had no weapon or intention of killing you, and in the end it turned out to be false. If you knew from the beginning that by defending your son you would lose your life, would you still do it, or would you change your opinion? The same confusing situation is happening with Zoro, because if a person is stupid, he will be too ignorant to know the consequences of his behavior. That is why I am making this video. Welcome to Kanjuro channel, where we mix psychology with anime, because I believe that wisdom should be taken from wherever it is found, even in anime. Definition of bravery. According to Professor Daniel Putman, courage or bravery involves deliberate choice in the face of painful or fearful circumstances for the sake of a worthy goal. With this realization, Putman concludes that there is a close connection between fear and confidence. The ideal in courage is not just a rigid control of fear, nor is it a denial of emotion. The ideal is to judge a situation, accept the emotion as part of human nature, and we hope use well-developed habits to confront the fear and allow reason to guide our behavior towards a worthwhile goal. It's not about being a person who is cold and who doesn't feel anything, because that is impossible. If you are a human being, then it is your nature to feel emotions, and it is a good thing, not a bad thing, because emotions are what makes life interesting and meaningful. However, being brave means that you have to do the right thing, despite how you feel, both physically and mentally. You have to have a sense of responsibility towards something, which makes your goals worthwhile, and as a result, it becomes easy to do courageous acts. The definition of stupidity is a lack of intelligence, understanding, reason, or wit, an inability to learn. Armed with this information, we can determine which side Zoro falls in. We all know that Zoro is terrible in regards to directions. The problem with that stems from his inability to learn from his mistakes, which completely aligns with the definition of stupidity, inability to learn. Nevertheless, it is unfair to judge his whole character based on one area of his life, because everyone lacks the ability to learn in some area of his life. In fact, Zoro has shown great learning skills, reasoning, and understanding in his fights. For instance, his fight against King, when he kept close attention to the fire in his back and learned that when the flame is on, he cannot damage him. The only way to harm him is to wait until his flame is off, which ended up being true. His ability to learn from his mistakes and attempts at damaging King made him back up for a moment and reflect on the fight, which resulted in figuring out his weakness and targeting it. Now that we are certain that he's not stupid, let's see if he's brave, or it could be something else. Let's start with the first example, which is his fight against Kuma. After the Straw Hats and their comrades refused to give up Luffy, they fell victims of Kuma's pressure cannon technique. Consequently, they all blacked out. Kuma then took the chance to kidnap Luffy. To his surprise, Zoro attacked him. He told him to take him instead of Luffy. Though I am not popular yet, but I will be the person who will become the greatest swordsman in the world. Sanji interfered and offered to sacrifice himself instead. Of course, Zoro hit him with the handle of the sword. Kuma then made it clear that he will show him how, and that he has to take the pain of Luffy.
で疲労試してみる。どうだ。
After Zoro took a sample of the pain, which was extremely painful, he decided to take it all without any hesitation. When Sanji woke up and saw Zoro, he was so shocked to see him full of blood, with the area around him being bloody too, and asked him what happened, in which he responded saying nothing happened. If Zoro was just stupid, he wouldn't be aware of the consequences. Zoro knew exactly what was going to happen to him, which is evident by him saying that Luffy will be the king of the pirates, and offering himself as the next best swordsman, because he knew that he probably wouldn't be alive to achieve his goal. In addition to that, he attacked Sanji to be the one who saved Luffy, which shows the level of discipline and sense of duty he has towards Luffy and the crew. He did not do what felt most comfortable or enjoyable to him. He accepted the pain and allowed reason to guide his behavior to achieve a worthwhile goal, which perfectly aligns with the definition of bravery or courage. Zoro actually has some insane dedication and learning skills. For instance, when Zoro lost against Mihawk, he promised Luffy that he will never lose a fight again, and that is exactly what happened. Until this point, Zoro has never been defeated in a swords fight. To conclude, though Zoro has an extreme weakness when it comes to directions, it is unfair to judge his whole character based on that one thing, especially when countless events imply his high level of intelligence, understanding, reason, and ability to learn. His fight against King is a great example of that. Also, attributing an extremely negative feature to a character is commonly used in One Piece. For example, Sanji is a pervert, and Usopp is a coward, and Frankie is extremely emotional and empathetic. It is used to perhaps show the natural and relatable side of characters, because otherwise it will be hard to relate to them. Zoro's bravery is evident in his fight against Kuma. He sacrificed himself knowing the consequences for the greater good of the crew, despite his feelings or even life.